everyone. So today I wanted to share my new Swatchbook project that I've been working on. I started this in like the middle of December and I wanted to get a new updated Swatchbook ready for the new year of art to be making and stuff. So this is my old Swatchbook full of stickers. It's I think it's Canson, I think that's the brand, and it's mixed media paper. Spiral, which I don't like. This is one of the reasons why I upgraded to a hardcover mixed media paper sketchbook for this, because I was having a hard time keeping the pages in, especially towards the back. The spiral kind of just warps and comes out of the holes in extended use, and I use this a lot. So this is what my old one looks like. There's a lot of random swatches in here. I think I also have pens and probably like some brushes and stuff too, but basically it's like a library of all of the colors for each medium that I use. And as you can imagine, I use this constantly in all of my drawings, all of my paintings. So I wanted to update it, add in some stuff that I had not added to it yet. This is the sketchbook that I'm now using. I don't know the brand name. Oh, here it is. Golb's Art. Sorry, it's black on black. I can't read it. Golb's Art sketchbook, professional, hardcover, mixed media paper. I think it said, I was gonna say 60 pages, but I could be wrong. I don't fully remember. It does have like a little tassel bookmark thing, and then in the way back it has one of those little slip file folder things. I don't know if I'm going to use that. I might just take it out because it does add some bulk to it, but overall I love the size of it. It is much bigger than my old one, so I have more space for swatching and stuff like that. I'm gonna do a tabletop filming to show you the old one and show you the new one, but overall I wanted to show that I like to keep space around the swatches so that I can make notes on what type of paper is best to use this stuff with, what kind of brushes to use with certain paints, how many layers I can do with markers and crayons and pencils and stuff like that. So I plan to use this hopefully for the rest of my life, which is why I got the hardcover. I don't want to have to redo it again. I think I did a good amount of pages, maybe 6 or 7 pages, I'm just guessing. But I would imagine being like 50 years old and still using this, because with it closed and protected, I think that my color swatches are gonna last longer. Because they're not going to be like exposed to sunlight and stuff like that, whereas with the spiral I tend to keep it open. You know, I have it open on my desk or in my little book holder thing, and sometimes I leave it out. I know that there's been a couple pages that have definitely faded. Some like water-based markers have faded because I left them in the sunlight for a couple months or something, but with the hardcover book I have to close it. I can't really keep it open and out. It's in the way and stuff. So I'm imagining this should last me a good long time and be my master reference for all of my medium swatches. So yeah, that's a long intro. I'm sorry. It's probably not gonna be fun to edit, but that is the video I wanted to put together. Hopefully that this is helpful to some other artists. I know that people do like to swatch their mediums as they're using it, like a little scratch paper to like test out what colors you're doing and stuff, but I've noticed that that kind of makes the art process even longer for me, because I'm going through my colors and trying to find the right colors that I want. Whereas the swatch book, it's out in the open, I see what I want, I know the color, I know the number, and I go and pick the color that I want to use. So in my experience of the last 2 or 3 years that I've been using the swatch book, it's so fast, it's so easy. I don't really have scratch paper anymore, although I have scraps of paper that I hold on to in case I need scratch paper, but that's just because artists can't throw things away. Anyways, I'm gonna move on to showing you what the books look like, and yeah, that's all. All right, so this is the old swatch book that I was using, and I have used more than half of it. There are some things that I have not transferred into the new one, but basically I started off by doing some acrylic swatches of, these are paints that I had when I was in high school. These are very old, and this is kind of what started it all. I had some brushes I wanted to swatch, which is actually what I need to do next in my hardcover book, is swatch all of my brushes, but I kind of want to do that later because this has been such a long project. I did some paint mixing and stuff, and then I really got into swatching all of my mediums as I was purchasing them. So every time a new medium comes in, I go through and I swatch everything and I play around and see like what the colors look like. This is not uniform at all, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to redo this system, because the colors are not in the correct order sometimes, and I'm very messy with just kind of playing around with things. I have swatched things that I don't even use anymore, which is fine. You know, sometimes you get a new product and you end up not liking it that much and you move on to something else. I feel like because this is a spiral sketchbook that I'm more casual with it, more messy, and yeah, I would like it to be a little bit more cleaned up and professional. So this is the sketchbook that I got. I found this on Amazon because I was searching the internet for hardcover, mixed media paper, and enough pages to kind of last me a good few years of my life, right? So I think that this has about 60 pages. This one had 60, but I have ripped some out, so that's why I think this one is 60 as well. To start off with, I left this page open because I like to collect stickers from other artists, and I plan on covering this up. I usually do my end papers full of stickers, and then this is the first page that I have. These are the Crayola markers, Colors of the World, so they're skin tone colors, and I really like these a lot. The way that these lay down so sheer in their first swatch, and then you can add a second layer and get that really rich color. I have used these in some human illustrations before, so definitely enjoy those. These are Crayola crayons. I love to use crayons when I'm working in my sketchbook for very quick, easy color deposit and kind of like just getting an idea of where I want things placed, composition, all that kind of stuff. But the crayons are just very satisfying, that like soft, waxy feel across the paper. So I went and bought a huge set. I don't remember how many there are here, but it's a lot. The only ones I did not include in the swatches were, I think, the glitter crayons, because they were just so crunchy and strange, and I'm probably never going to use those crayons. So I didn't even include them in here. I did include the metallic ones, which have a little bit of a sparkle in them, but they're not as textured and gross as the other ones. These are Tombow dual brush pens, and this is one of my favorite mediums to color drawings with. And it's something that I'm actually excited to get back into because I've taken a break from doing drawings and illustrations. This side is the Prismacolor Premier water-soluble colored pencils, the 36 set. This was my first time getting watercolor pencils, and I really enjoyed using the pencils. I like to swatch them on a piece of paper, apply water, and have like my little puddle of watercolor that I use to paint on a different piece of paper. But you can also color something and then add water and do it that way. It does give it a little bit more pencil texture effect. Let's see, Caran d'Ache Geneve Neocolor Wax Pastels Water Resistant. So fancy Crayola crayons, right? These are lovely. I enjoy them so much. I would like to get their water soluble pastels at some point, because I feel like those would be really fun too, but I've been enjoying these a lot and they blend so beautifully, so I really like having this swatch page. The colors really inspire me to do lots of different like art history studies in my sketchbooks, because these colors are just, they're classic, right? These are Prismacolor Premier Color Pencils, the entire collection. These are pencils that I use constantly. I'm actually thinking about maybe getting the Caran d'Ache pencils, which are expensive, but I've heard they are amazing. A huge upgrade from using the Prismacolor pencils. So that's in my future. At some point this year, I do want to get a more affordable set to try out, but for now, the Prismacolor pencils are my favorite. This side over here is, let's see, Oil Pastel Extra Soft Water Soluble. The set I have is called Mungyo Aquarelle. I'm not really sure. I got it at like a Hobby Lobby a few years ago. I don't use these too often because it does leave like that oil pastel texture, and the color is transfer, like there's smudges all on this page. So I swatch them just to have them in case I want to use it in some mixed media thing or some abstract stuff, but for, I don't know, I guess professional or serious art, I wouldn't use these. This is the Van Gogh Watercolor 12 Pan Palette. I don't have a lot of watercolor palettes, so I got this to practice with and I have yet to use it. The swatches are really nice, the pigment's really nice, but it's hard for me to move away from the watercolor pencils. They just have a very different texture to them. These are two gouache palettes that I have. This one is the Himi Gouache 18 Pan Palette, which I've been using a lot recently. And then these are the Holbein Artist Gouache 12 set that I got. I want to get into this more, so I feel like this year I want to try to transition away from the gouache palette and try to do some more serious stuff with this, but we'll see how that goes. Oh, these are my favorite highlighters, the Stabilo Boss Original Highlighters. I got a whole set from, I think it was like their 50-year anniversary or something. Love these colors, love these highlighters. I use them so much. I use them constantly, especially in a lot of my paintings. They look really beautiful as like this veil of color on top of acrylic paint. So I've been loving those a lot. These are, let's see, Bravillier's Cretacolor Aqua Monolith Woodless Aquarelle Pencils. That's a long title. Because I was loving watercolor pencils so much, I wanted to invest in a set of woodless pencils that I felt like I could get the most use for each pencil, right? These colors, I love them so much. If you do any watercolor portraiture, these are beautiful. You can make so many different skin tones, you can do lots of different highlight colors and shade colors, and it's really amazing. And also it comes with a graphite, which is nice for, I did one time do black and white watercolor portrait, and that was really tricky, but the graphite it left this beautiful sheen on it, and I really enjoyed that a lot. But these pencils are really fantastic. I like them. And then this, I have the 2-page spread for all of my acrylic paints that I will be purchasing in my lifetime. These are the paints that I have right now. Some of them I hate. Like, I bought some neon paints from Folk Flirt, and they're so sheer. The colors are not very good. I don't really enjoy them or recommend them. These are Master Touch neon paints, which I like much more. So I wanted to have just one page of all the acrylic paints instead of having them per brand or anything like that. So I just put them all right here. And then that's it for right now. I plan on doing more brush swatches and stuff like that. So that is the full tour of my current and updated swatch book. Okay, so I hope that that was helpful. I tried to like show some footage of me actually doing the swatches, which I forgot to do the first half of this project. I just kind of jumped in, I was really excited, and I started doing it all. But basically, you know, I measure out some boxes. Usually they're like an inch, inch and a quarter by another inch. So the swatches are pretty like uniform. Some of the paints though, the mediums are like larger, so I wanted to have bigger cells. So that's why it's a little inconsistent, but I don't know, in my brain it makes sense. So that's all that matters, I guess. And yeah, I hope this was helpful and enjoyable, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.